All right, guys. So first, welcome back to the shop. Second, I kind of had a good idea, or an interesting one, at least to me. So my 2023 Powerboost F150 was due for its first indicated oil change. I never changed the oil before. I used to on my older vehicles, but I decided not to on this one, just to see. So I was curious how much wear metals, silicones, paints, etc. could be in this engine. So I had the very first oil filter off of it from the first oil change. You see, this is a factory Ford filter. And I'm curious to see what kind of wear metal or parts or anything that are in it. So we're gonna go ahead and cut this one open and see. This was at an indicated like 8,800 miles. It said it was due for an oil change. Now, some people tell you, I would never wait that long, blah, blah, blah. And I've done it with my past few vehicles and never had an issue. I believe if you're, my buddy works at a Ford dealership and he said that these engines are wet run tested for leaks before they even go in the chassis. So maybe that's part of it now. But I went by and my vehicles are leased, so they'll never, they'll be under warranty as I get rid of them, because honestly, it's not even worth it to buy out a lease anymore. Every time I go to, it's just not even worth it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut this filter apart, good, bad, or indifferent, and see what's going on in there. So you see your cap, you see your check valve that keeps the oil in there. That's just a little bit of paint from cutting the filter. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take since we cut it off, we're gonna take it over, pull it apart, and see what's in there. So let's take a look. Now the oil is dark, I give it that. So that's 8,800 mile factory oil. And it's definitely dark. I can smell it in there. But honest to God, there is no metal I'm seeing in there. I do see something in there though. So let's take a look. So, yep, there is a little bit of debris in the bottom. Nothing I would consider bad, but there is a little bit of debris in there. Let's see. Yeah, just a little bit of debris in there, nothing major. I do see some stuff in here. So that looks like and feels like it's a chunk of silicone. A lot of these newer engines use silicone to seal the corners, seal the end seals, everything like that. Yeah, there's another little chunk of silicone. So let's dig down in there a little bit. So I can see a little bit of metal, nothing major. Honestly, it does look good. And remember that all your filtered oil comes in through here and comes out through the center. So anything that would be trapped in the pleats will be out here. So there is a little bit of debris in there. So you could definitely make a case that changing it early and getting it out of there is better for the engine's longevity, but also I don't think it'll hurt anything. Remember guys, this isn't scientific. This is one guy's opinion. And I used to build engines for a living. I don't currently anymore. I do still build a bunch on the sides, including, a 2,200 wheel horsepower, 9,200 RPM, 5-liter Coyote that's still together seasons later. So I would say it doesn't hurt to change it. It will never hurt to change it. But as far as it destroying an engine from not doing it early, go by the recommended intervals. You know, there was no oil test here. There's no scientific data to it, but we're just looking at it to see. And obviously, there is going to be wear in materials as the rings bed in. You shouldn't ever see bearing material, especially on a stock type engine. And I can see little bits here and there. Nothing like bearing, just looks to me like maybe a couple small aluminum shavings, little debris, nothing major, nothing that makes me go, oh my God. Like I said, there is just, and now you can see it a little better in there. Let's see if it's magnetic. So I don't think it will be magnetic. It honestly looks more to me like debris from maybe not being put together as clean as possible. Let's clean this off. Let's see if any of this picks up. No, so it's just dust, dirt, and debris in there. So nothing that is going to tear it apart or make it come apart. It can't hurt to change them early, but I don't think you're doing any significant damage by running it to the recommended oil change intervals. In my opinion, I don't see it. So that's just something to keep in mind. You know, it's just not the end of the world not to rush out and change them constantly with today's oils and today's manufacturing techniques. They're a lot cleaner than the stuff used to be. All right, guys, thanks for watching. All right, guys, so actually I'm going to amend my last video a little bit. I decided to let this drain out so I could really see what was in there. Looking around, I do see quite a bit of aluminum. I don't see any copper or anything, but it's all aluminum shavings, and maybe that's from, you know, the timing chains and guides, or stuff in the heads wearing out. But again, you look up there, there is chunks of black silicone, and I do know on these engines they use the silicone to seal the corners of the timing chain and oil pan and stuff. So honestly, maybe you do want to change it a little early. It's not overly loaded. It's not anything I would be concerned about, but it's definitely something to look at. So keep that in mind.